Section 7 perhaps is one of the most important sections that we will see throughout this course. It's about inverse relations. Now, we've been using inverses since the days of Algebra 1 in order to solve equations. To undo addition, we subtract. To undo multiplication, we divide, and so on. But now we're going to see how that relates to relations and functions. So first of all, what is an inverse relation? When we have inverse relations, the domain of one relation is the range of its inverse. Okay, and same thing for the range. The range of the relation is the domain of its inverse. So long story short, with inverse relations, the x's and the y's switch. Okay, we're going to say that a lot as we go through this section. The x and the y switch. Because keep in mind, domain is talking about the possible x values, and range talks about the possible y values. Okay, this is the main idea. Now, looking at an example here, example 1. We're going to find the inverse of a relation that is given to us. Okay, so we're going to find the inverse of our relation -2, 2, -1, 0, 0, 3, and 1, 0. Now keep in mind the main idea is what was the domain becomes the range. What was the range becomes the domain. Or again, the long story short, the x and the y switch places. So the inverse, instead of this point -2, 2, instead of this ordered pair, my point would be 2, -2. Instead of the point -1, 0, I'd have 0, -1. And then we continue to switch. So I'd have 3, 0, and then 0, 1. Again, what was my x's? My x's over in my original relation are now the y's, and my inverse. What was the y's is now my x's. Now something to point out here. If I look at my original relation, this original relation is a function because each x value only goes to one y value. -2 only goes to 2. -1 only goes to 0, and so on. If I look over here, though, at my inverse, this is not a function because 0 goes to -1 and to 1. So just making that note there. It's not a function because 0, -1, and 0, 1 are both points. All right, one last time, main idea of inverses, the x and the y switch.